Hello everyone and welcome to this video where I'm going to be showing you something really cool that I've been working on. It actually stems from a question that I had on my YouTube channel. It was a post and I posed this question. I asked, little preview of some upcoming releases, but what makes them extra special? Look at the roofs. And in the photo itself, you can kind of see there's potentially something, and people commented parachute or large connector, lifting options, parachutes, lifting anchor. So you guys are right, we're talking about parachutes. So if we take a look right above on the top of these creations, you could see it easiest on this little SUV here, but even on the side-by-side and on the Humvee, you could see them. Now, what I really wanted was an option where we had these OSAR vehicles be really equipped to handle sort of emergency situations. And if you're familiar with OSAR, it is sort of a branch of OMA. So if we take a look here, you could see some of the creations that were created. The F2s are ones that are not yet released, and the R1s, or F1 sorry, and R1s are released ones. Most notably, the OSAR Pelican. The OSAR Pelican has this kind of configuration of this Humvee on top with some minor modifications to kind of make it link up to the vessel here. But this is a great vessel. It had a great reception. People really liked it. And I wanted to expand on that sort of Humvee type vehicle. Now, in expanding on the Humvee type vehicle, I also started on the others, but we'll get to those in a second. So, GTCG1, this is my fully revamped version of the GTCG1. And the nice thing is, there are no doors. So with that, you can easily hop in and out, and not just that, it really does make it easier for stowing it inside of vehicles such as this helicopter. So without going into too much detail, pretty much what you have now is this. Also, the helicopter was updated with Easy Connect for the vehicles. But anyway, you come in here and you drive in, if you can drive. Clearly I can't. Alright. Make our way. This is a very tight fit. The Humvee is wide. Oh, this is brutal. Okay. There we go. And specifically for this vehicle, you see how nice it is to not have the doors, because you can kind of still move around without having to worry about doors that you have to open and kind of plow through. Now, yes, it's still not the easiest to move around in this, but you can. And what's really great is this Humvee kind of comes, or GTCG1, I'm just gonna stop saying Humvee, comes with a medical bed, comes with 8 benches in the back, so you can actually put 8 people. And like I said, it has that parachute option. So let's take this thing up into the sky and test it out. We got our engines on, our rotor clutch, and up we go. So when you are loaded with a vehicle, this helicopter obviously is a little more sluggish, but that doesn't really stop it from performing. So you still can and will be able to lift things up into the air. Okay, now that we're up high enough, I can put on my altitude hold, position hold, and we'll just kind of stay put. Now in the back here, if we open up the cargo door, and now we go inside the GTCG1, you can see there's an activate parachute button. So we're going to turn that on, and we're going to start up the vehicle, release the handbrake. Now, the best way to release this vehicle and see how it really helps to not have the doors is you just click this. Otherwise, you'd have to go to the back and click on this, which is the release for the trailer hitch, as well as for this for that type of connector. Now there we go. Parachute is activated. Vehicle is coming down quite nicely here. Still a little fast, but there we go. Boom. So we've got our vehicle really quick out of the sky, out of the helicopter, and on the ground. Now, of course, you could play by yourself in this way, but now you're kind of stuck with the helicopter up there. So I highly recommend this type of creation and this type of gameplay if you're playing multiplayer with friends. So this creation is done, and you can see here you can release the R10 bottom connectors, but again, because you have no doors, you could just click on that button and you have all kinds of nice stuff here, including this medical bed and the seats and whatnot. So this is a useful creation. Now this guy here, little SUV, I believe it's called a Saddle 4, Buckle Saddle 4, it's narrow. You could see it's much narrower than the GTCG1, so it has the advantage of being able to naturally kind of fit into smaller spaces. But what's great about this one is it's fully enclosed. Now, I know in the game, obviously, you know, it doesn't make a difference if you're in the winter tundra if you have this. The ultimate point is you turn on your heater, and no matter if you are exposed to the elements or not, you know, you get your heat. But what I kind of think about is a bit of kind of lore or gameplay or whatever you want to call it, roleplay. So I like that this vehicle is fully enclosed, and it just comes with this medical bed and 2 seats here in the tailgate. Now, oh, I'm gonna have to take a look at that. Interesting. Something's clearly clashing. That door should be able to open, but the point is you have the side door as well, so not a huge transport vehicle, but just a good little nifty vehicle to get you from all kinds of situations and pretty much fully enclose any of the passengers. So for this, I actually am going to drive it into our brand new OMA plane. Now, if you're not familiar with this plane, I do have a very long video. It's like an hour long. Oh. And in this video, I go through all the steps I did when I put this thing together. And yes, it is different than the other version, the army plane and whatnot, but you could see in here, it's kind of familiar. You can kind of see some similarities, and I just engaged that easy connect so we can drive in. And keep in mind, yes, this vehicle does have the doors, but it is narrower, so you still can kind of fit in here. And of course, the nice thing with this truck, with this little SUV, is that yes, it is narrower, so it really kind of goes in quite easily and nicely. Alright, and it fits in this cargo bay. Now, because the helicopter was intended to be more versatile, you have the seats. Here you just have a wide cargo bay, so it's much easier to operate and place things in here. So we're going to turn on our systems. You can see the interface of this plane isn't as nice as in the helicopter. If I do a more detailed remaster, I will adjust these things, but for now, this plane still does work. Granted, just doesn't use as many of my own parts and creations, but nonetheless, it still is functional and good enough for most types of usage. So we're gonna now fly over the land, and with our little saddle in the back here, first we'll hold the altitude, so we're now going straight. We'll throw on the high gear and make our way into the cargo bay. Now, in the cargo bay here, if we release this, the vehicle will probably want to move back. So you've got to be quick. You can see kind of shoved itself back. That's just kind of how Stormworks works. So now I can either, well, the best thing would be to open this door, but the second I open the door, this truck is coming out. So let's see if I can do this, and then turn the parachute. Boom. Of course, right over the water. So that wasn't as well thought out. We're literally right in the middle of this bay, but the idea is you can launch and end up with a vehicle wherever it is you're going. That's why I was acting funny. This piece should not be a part of the door. This piece should be a part of the SUV. See if this works. There we go. So now you can easily take people in and out of the medical bed. And last but not least, this little guy, the Rat Task OSAR edition. Very simple interface, but it does have a medical bed and it has 3 seats for passengers plus kind of a passenger seat or shotgun seat. So while it is not a full-size kind of SUV or truck, it still is quite useful. So it has a little engine. It can get up to like 50 kilometers an hour, so not super fast, but you know what? You don't always need fast. Sometimes you just need a vehicle that you could deploy and kind of take from place to place. The way I kind of see this really working well, if I don't flip it now, is if you deploy it onto an island that needs kind of people being saved, but it's small enough that it could fit even on a ship or a boat and easily transported with the plane. Now this one even has an emergency siren, so really does get you, gets the attention as you are trying to help people out. But here we have the helicopter, and just to show you how nicely it does fit inside, because keep in mind, as much as we struggled with the G1 because of the size, this one will go much easier. Now granted, we do have to turn on the R10 and then just make our way down here. So the nice thing with this is that, well, first of all, the not nice thing is it just has the one front connector, so yes, it will swing around a little bit. That just kind of is what it is, but it's so small. Like, look how it fits into this space, and with that, you can easily have passengers, have not really other cargo, but you can have other passengers, you can have other stuff going on, and it just makes for such like a simple type of deployment wherever it is you're trying to go. So if you're trying to deploy this even on a tiny little island, you very well could do that. I think I broke one of the rotors there. Okay, if we turn on our CCTV, you can see the front there. Oh, definitely want to keep that on so we could turn on the under camera. We're right over top of the island. Now we've probably got to move a little bit forward so it'll actually drop on the island instead of in the water again, but let's see. Okay, open the door. That's kind of the key instead of what I did last time. Alright, now find the parachute switch, turn on the engine, we'll put it in reverse and release this. We'll just slowly drive out. Yes, it will kind of tip back as we do, but there we go. Parachute activates and our little vehicle makes its way safely to the island. Not what I intended, but we're here. Vehicle's kind of here. Anyway, that is what I've done with these creations. These little creations actually inspired me to update the plane, because without the plane being updated, the only place these three would work was the helicopter. And as much as I love the 318 helicopter, the Ray 318, I do want to kind of make a system that is way more versatile, useful, etc., etc. So I think having the plane really does help with that. Now, you'll notice on the roof of this thing we do have some anchor points, so you can lift this up and place it onto a ship. I believe in here as well I have an anchor, so you can also do the same with this little SUV. And over here I believe there's a winch. Now it's kind of here, so center of gravity is not great. You may end up flipping the thing, but if you use Magall, you probably could get it on. Anyways, this is more a drive-on, drive-off size vehicle, but these guys here and this, definitely can be placed on a ship too. So there you have it. Quick little showing of these creations. Hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed kind of the update that came with it. Sometimes it takes inspiration for something like this to bring about changes with something like that plane. So that is really awesome. I'm really excited that these kind of things are all coming together in the way they are. Please let me know in the comments what you think with all the compatibility, the systems. Like, it's a ton of effort. It really is, to kind of make things interchangeable and whatnot, but I find it just so rewarding. It's so rewarding to be able to have these systems that work together, coincide with each other, and kind of function. So anyway, thank you for watching this video. As always, I want to give a huge shout out to all of my supporters. Thank you so much. They already have access to one of these planes, as well as to all the early release videos. So they get to enjoy some special perks, and I get to enjoy that extra bit of support they give. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching, commenting, subscribing, being a part of the community. I find it super awesome. I want to thank the developers. I want to thank my moderators and admin on my Discord server. And I will see you next time. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, until that next video or creation, happy Stormworksing, everyone.